Parks, schools, restaurants, and more, Assembly Row gets high scores. We're a thriving city with so much to do. On Boston Harbor, in our view, politics, cannabis, controversial stories, heroes, villains, who gets the glory? 50 plus languages in Somerville is spoken. Sanctuary city, there are no free tokens. History in Somerville stays alive. In All American City, we won 3 times. Somerville connects. Somerville connects.
Welcome to another edition of Dead Air Live, the longest live running TV show in America, and audio podcast Somerville Connects. Today, we have the beautiful and amazing Sandy Grape. We are going to kickstart your business with Sandy Grape. Welcome, Sandy. How you doing today, Sandy?
Fabulous, JoJo. Thanks for having me today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. You're going to take us on a little journey because you have quite an interesting life. I'm not going to say your age, but you do look pretty darn fantastic. That's all I could say. Your skin looks great. Your hair looks great. You have a lot of life and pizzazz. So, Sandy, tell us a little bit about yourself. You could start anywhere you want because we met each other through an affiliation in B&I, George Worrell. And for some reason, we connected. And I did a one-to-one with you. Thank you very much. And, I told you about what I do, and you shared a little bit about what you do. And I said, Sandy, let's do a podcast / TV show. So hence, here we are. So, Sandy, take it away. Who are you?
Oh, I'm not a mystery. I am not a mystery. Oh my gosh, I am just thrilled to be here. And I thank George for bringing us together because I really felt a connection with you when we did our one-on-one. And so I really appreciate that. Who am I? I am a down-to-earth Taurus. Let's just put it that way, in a good way. I
When you say a tourist, what do you mean, a tourist?
Oh, well, I have a May birthday. So if you want to write that down in case you want to send me a card.
Right.
Yeah. I have a May birthday. Just, I keep people up on things, right? Yes. And so I am not I like to think I'm not a complex person. I like to think of myself as a spiritual person who loves life and lifelong learning. I went to high school a few years ago, or quite a few years ago, and but I didn't start college till I was 40 years old, and I went to college and worked a full-time job out of the area, and was a wife. I'm a mom, um, and life happens. A couple of years later, life throws me a curveball. And I go down a road that is just like a little bit more negative than I realized I was on. But through a group of people, they kind of helped turn me around a little bit, saying, you don't have to live like this. And I've worked on, creating the best life that I can. I still think there's a lot of life in me, you know, and I really do, I believe we all have choices to make on how we want to spend our day. And I certainly have had my days and my issues with, let's just say, things that, make us think or feel very uncomfortable. But, I thank goodness for professionals, you know, and, oh, let's see.
Okay, well, let me just interject here for a second because you just gave us a huge, huge mouthful about your life. Why did you start college at the age of 40?
Well, when I was in middle school or junior high, it's called junior high, I sent away to sell Christmas cards. And they used to have matchbooks, and that's where advertising was done. And legally at the time, in those days, you could actually call a number, and next thing you know, the post office would call your parents and say, you have many boxes here to pick up from such and such company. And we all three of us went to the post office and picked it up. And my parents asked me why I wanted to do this. And I said, I want to be like Dad. Dad was a door to door salesman. He sold Kirby vacuum cleaners. He sold lots of things. And then as life goes on, he gets like the quote unquote, the real job. But I thought, well, that's great for him, but, I can do this. And by the time I got to high school and was taking some classes, I had one particular teacher that said, you're not very good at algebra. You probably should go back to business math. And I did. I spent 3 years in business math. Talk about it. It's great, but I got A's. It wasn't hard. I really liked the challenge. And I think just him suggesting it, because, my parents would follow whatever the teacher said or the counselors. And she said I really wasn't college material. So it would take that long from 18 to 40 and
Isn't it
gather.
isn't it amazing that teachers can tell you something that can actually change the trajectory course of your life and how they influence us. If they say something good, we can go in that direction. If they say something bad, like, oh, you can't sing, and then the person never sings another song in their life.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. And I agree with that. In that era that I grew up in, parents very much listened to teachers. And that's, because I think my parents did the best they could. They'd never been to college. And so getting a so-called real job would be the best thing. Having those, they always say, you make kind of what the five people around you make. If you follow some of the books that I have read, and I think it was that way at the same time, and so I followed. And I mean, I'm not dissatisfied with my life because I think things happen for a reason, and all that I went through kind of makes me who I am today. But I started college at 40, and it was fat. I picked a real easy course, like a study hall, but that was recommended. I went to the community college and I loved it. I just loved it. It was like, oh, this is what my high school friends, who had long since. So, I kept going, and I had to take some breaks due to life circumstances. But I returned in 2002, and it took 4 years working a full time job to go at night, and I got into teaching by that time, and it was a blessing because then all the kids loved it when your teacher was going to college. Oh,
what
Miss Grape, you're going to college.
what did you teach? In what grade?
I was teaching reading and math as support staff for K-5. Yep, small groups, kids that struggled with reading and needed that smaller classroom. Yeah, absolutely. Loved it, loved it, loved it.
And now you are doing something that you truly love. You've taken on
Mhm.
a new profession, which I think is fabulous because you're reinventing yourself all over again. So tell us a little bit about what you do, your company, and how you're changing lives.
Well, Cody Bateman actually founded the company in 2003. Thank goodness. I came across Send Out Cards in 2008, and it was the answer that I needed to writing thank you cards to the multitudes of people who were coming to a Christmas event, a vendor event, and people would be interested in what I had to sell. Could they have a catalog? Would you send me a note? And they would give me their name and address and their email and phone number. And I would handwrite them hundreds of cards, even if they never bought a thing. It didn't matter. They just, to have somebody stop at your booth and talk to you, it's pretty amazing. And I've stayed with them. And COVID hit in March, and I kind of went, aha, Now, I'm older. However, I have a lot to live, remember? So I have a lot of life in me. And, and I'm counting on, maybe 3 decades. I mean, I'm not in control of what the timing will be, but I can control what I do. And I decided to jazz it up a bit and kind of upgrade my send out cards subscription and hit the road running. And so Send Out Cards is a greeting card and gift company located in Salt Lake City. They've been around and they're one of the few multi-level marketing companies that are still around after 16, 17 years paying commissions. A lot of them, and I'm sure there's going to be companies that are invented as we speak. There are some blessings in all of this new new life, but I really wanted something to do. All my friends are right here on camera. And I thought, I want something to do, and I want something that speaks to people. And nothing warms my heart than when you send somebody a greeting card and it comes in the mail and it's got a real postage stamp on it, and they open it up and go, I miss you, or thank you for being my friend, or thank you for whatever, or congratulations. I hear you're retiring. You know, the Facebook post wasn't enough. I needed to send you a card. And I figured that out quickly and hooked up with uh, lovely, lovely people who have the same goal. The missions between, you know, those in BNI and those in Send Out Cards are are so similar. It warms my heart. It warms my heart. And I just, I can't speak enough about it. To be able to go into a system that's already been created in place for this long and to create a heartfelt card. You can use your handwriting, you can use a font, and to add a gift, maybe add a gift. It's that time of year, whether you add an expensive gift or where you add brownies. Well, we're famous. Our brownies are famous. They've already come singly wrapped. And so, what a great thing to be able to love on people.
This is so beautiful. So you're in a business that pulls on the heartstrings, which is so magnificent. Now, how is this different than someone going into a store and buying a card for someone and sending it out? How is send out cards different?
Well, first, you don't have to stand in the store. You, if you were me, when I used to stand in the store, I'd be in that store for an hour, easy, in this one section, and I would have to look at all I'd be looking either for a birthday or a thank you card, and I'd be standing there and standing there. And they never said the right thing. So for me, the time in there was like, I'm going to stand here until I find the right card. And we used to have Hallmark stores in this country. We had the whole standalone store. And they always had cute little gifts if you wanted to include it. And I remember, every time I had gone to the store and I'd go, I need this card. Oh, that's right. Yes, I was guilty of actually buying the card. And then I found out how much they actually were costing, $6.99 and $7.99 a piece. To find something that I really thought would be perfect for the person, I could come home and go, I have send out cards on my system. If once a customer, we're all customers, no matter whether you use it as a way to help business owners or individuals. And I'd come back and I'd sit on my computer. There is also an app on smartphones and whether they're Android or iOS. If you want to be able to send a card in a few minutes, you can do that. I prefer a nice big screen like a PC, and I can just sit down and I can really, if I'm going to take time to write something, the cover could be created or I could create my own, and I can write my heartfelt message, and I can go to this little store in there and I could add a gift. it's easy. And then I hit send. The company takes it from there.
It's it's beautiful. Tell me some of the stories about people that you send cards to, because sending cards is becoming a lost art. Not many people do it, but I will tell you there is something to it when you get a handwritten card. I got a card today in the mail, and someone wrote something very profound, and I just went, "Oh my god, that was beautiful." So, do you find the same thing? Is that happening with people that you send cards to?
Absolutely. I have probably sent hundreds of cards this year, but not to get something, but just for the simple fact that if I can bring a smile to their face, or, or a lovely thought for them during this COVID season, I'm good. And I've gotten another, I get text back. I got another messenger message today, saying, thank you, Sandy, for sending the card. Aunt Betty says hello. She's sitting right next to me, reading this card as I'm opening it. And how much, because the memories, Aunt Betty and I were connected, but we never got to meet in the 80s, in the early 90s. But I got to meet her niece, who I sent the card to. So she feels connected to me, even though we've never officially been in front of each other. And thank you so much for doing this. I can't tell you how it's made us feel, you know. And people do that, and I'm so appreciated that I keep sending. I just keep sending. I just keep sharing. Why not? I mean, why not take advantage of the fact that we're all inside and think outside ourselves, you know? And I don't say that in such a way that people aren't already doing that. We sent them to nurses and doctors and EMTs, and we pick people off the street, and they're everyone that's, some have even, sent them to their local political, affiliates, or the people that run the county. Thank you for what you do, and don't listen to the negative. And I tell my friends that too. I said, don't listen to the negative. Come into my bubble world here.
Beautiful. Is there a way that you can personalize the cards? Is there things that you do besides, which is huge, sending brownies? But can you add a photograph to the card if you want, or do something that's specific to the person that you're sending it to that makes it
Oh,
different than, let's say, going into a store and buying a generic card?
absolutely. When you go to the card catalog, there are hundreds of designs, hundreds. And yes, there are in categories, and there's also my favorites because I've tagged them because I happen to like the cover. And I just click on the card catalog and pick a card, and it comes up on the screen, and I go, yeah, I do like that cover. That would be perfect. And I open it up because there's always that little button that says next, and I open it up. And there's room on the right side and the left side. And the right side, I'm going to write my message. But on the left side, there's a little square that is actually for the layout. And you click that and it opens up all kinds of layouts. And I'll pick the one where it says add an image. And it will instantly give me the chance of a little camera. And then I have some photos preloaded into the system that, it holds quite a few. I can put probably 1,000 photos in there if I want. And it instantly adds it. Write my message, because Facebook is really helpful for me as my virtual assistant. It's providing some photos and some birthdays from my friends, and then I'll just finish the back of the card, and I click send, and it's all done for me.
But
It's
so were you saying that you send them the file and the company mails it out for you?
Yeah, you actually put the card together in front of you on the screen, and it will
Oh.
almost look like, I don't know how they do this. It's magic. And when you're absolutely all done with the card and you've decided whether to add a gift or not, or maybe, you click ready to send. And once it goes in there, it sits in card history while it's pending. And they have a whole team that sit in front of computer screens, and they all they do is their magic, and it goes to the machines, and it prints with the photo. It's hard to believe because I know I'm not the only customer, but they're sending anywhere from 50,000 to 75,000 cards today. For
Wow.
the month of December, they're not they were a small company in 2003, right, from the garage, but they have grown over the years so that they have the capability of handling that many.
This is
And it's
terrific.
all electronic. It's
So
just
so you don't have to go to the post office, you don't have to get the stamps. Now
no.
now cards have got they're so expensive. How is this more economical to do it the way that you're doing?
Personally, I think too, because I like to save a dollar too. I've been known to join a few companies along my life. That's a whole nother story. I almost need to write a long email to JoJo. That's a whole thing I didn't even get to tell you about. and But I like a deal just like the next person. But the most you'll pay for a card is $2.75 each, plus postage is 55 cents, and that you can lower that price very easily, by a monthly subscription or a system package. The system package will get you 300 cards, and you get to pick out any one you want.
And how can people find you? Because this sounds like something that a lot of people need.
Well, I'm happy to tell you that I can be found on www.sendoutcards.com /the letter U /Sandy Grape.
And that's Grape. And Sandy is SandyGrape.
Yep, just like the fruit.
Just like the fruit.
Just like
Beautiful. This is fabulous. So, what would you say to folks about getting this program, jumping on this program? Final words.
be the person that reaches out and helps somebody smile today. Be that person. Send them a card. Even at 275, you can pay as you go plus postage. Then maybe the most will be $4.30. Might be more if you want to send a gift, but be that person that puts a smile on another person's. It's believe it or not, the post office #1 customer. Companies they buy real postage, not metered. It's real postage. So we're their #1 customer in the United States. And so there's a lot of people getting their smiles today. So if you're out there and you really want to do something for yourself, bring joy to someone else.
Sandy, you are so, so genuinely beautiful. And I'm looking forward to getting a card from you.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I
And
am.
brownies. I hope you like brownies.
I do. I
Yeah.
do. I'm Italian. I love to eat. Oh boy, do I love to eat. Anyway, Sandy, thank you so much for joining us today. And folks, send out cards. You heard it here. You could find Sandy at sendoutcards /u /Sandy Grape GRAPE.com. Did I say it right?
Can I correct you?
Please correct me.
Here we go. www.sendoutcards.com / the letter U / Sandy Grape.
Thank you. Thank you for
Thank you for having me.
oh my goodness, you are terrific. And you didn't even know what you were going to talk about. You filled almost a half hour. Um, Unbelievable. Folks, thanks for joining us for another edition of Dead Air Live and Somerville Connects. Bye for now.
Somerville connects. Somerville connects.